Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. As I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, it's always such a fun ride. And I appreciate you being with me every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as we get to kind of hang out in the afternoon with each other. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. You know, something I appreciate you sending emails as well. And you can send an email for any type of suggestions. You want me to do a little research for you, I'll be glad to do that. So you can send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. So Ellen sent a message for me, and she's at the elementary school in Gadsden, Alabama, and she's just having a little problem with some of the students just not wanting to read. And she said, I was just hoping you could give me a little bit of insight, if you'll do just a little bit of research and maybe make a show out of it, and I'll watch it. We'll see if we can get those kids on the reading program where they want to learn how to read. Now, this is for older folks out there too, because I know a lot of you don't want to read. And it's important. Okay, I happen to be a bookworm. I hung out at the library. Yeah, I was the class geek. Absolutely. So anyway, you'll learn so many things by hanging out at the library and just doing some research. And there's something, though, about just picking up a book. Now, you can do it online. It's no problem. But in my world, picking up a book and actually turning pages is a huge deal. I really do like doing that. So let's talk about this. So if you need a reason to open up a book, science shows the benefits of reading go way beyond fun, and they can lead to a happier, healthier life. Absolutely. When I was a kid growing up, not a good family and household to be in. A lot of arguments and stuff like that going on. So I think that's probably why I became a bookworm, because I could just get that book. I used to look at the books and read all the books on Pippi Longstocking. That was my favorite. And she would just, she would jump on a ship, go to somewhere different in the world. So I could just be into that world with Pippi Longstockings. And it was a wonderful thing. It's probably saved my sanity. So this is a great thing to do if you're in a rough marriage, or if you're just in a relationship you're just not happy in. A book can take you into another world. I'm just telling you. While the avid readers among us may be working their way through the best books of all time and devouring each of our most anticipated books of the year, most Americans don't have their noses stuck in a novel. And it's a shame, because there are so many benefits of reading. So why is reading important? Okay, studies have shown that a regular reading habit not only sharpens vocabulary, but it also reduces the brain's rate of decline in old age. And it also expands the EQ, that's the emotional intelligence and well-being. Good news is it's never too late to adopt a reading habit that will enrich your life and teach you how to be smarter. With regular reading, you can increase your IQ and then level up by learning how to read faster. I want you to write down this website. It's a good one right here. So if you don't like to read, or maybe you love reading, your significant other one doesn't, maybe the kids don't like to read, you got a classroom of kids who don't like to read, rd.com. That's rd.com. It's a good website. Okay, so what are the benefits of reading? Why should you? Okay, because we have television, we can watch a movie. I remember back in the day being in school and having to write maybe an essay or something. And I remember a lot of the folks I went to school with would go watch the movie if they could find a movie, and so they would watch the movie. And that's even more available right now, because we didn't have internet back in those days. And so I remember a teacher quizzing us one time. And so we had to write a report about Moby Dick. And some folks got together and rented a movie. You used to be able to rent those movies. And they rented it and watched that, and actually did the report or the essay on the movie and not the book. And she caught a whole bunch of people and gave them F's. She said, "You didn't read the book." She said, "Because I've seen the movie, and the movie is different than the book. There are some key segments in that book that are not in the movie." So that's how she got up with them. So if you got to write a report for anything, You want to watch a movie, fine, but make sure you read the book too, because it could be totally different. So we read for fun and we read to learn, but while entertainment and education are the most obvious benefits of opening a book, they're just the tip of the iceberg. Reading has countless benefits, starting from birth and lasting throughout child adulthood, says Judy Newman, who's Chief Impact Officer at Scholastic. Below, she and psychotherapist Diana Anson, who is the LCSW director of the Insight Therapy Solutions Internal Staff Wellness Program, discuss the many perks of making reading your newest hobby. I'm just telling you, I can get lost in a book. Okay, number one, it gives your brain a workout, and that's pretty awesome. So if you want to challenge your mind, crack open a book. A study published in the August 2023 version of Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science and Sports linked reading with better thinking skills in kids. In other words, the more you read, the better your brain works, explains Anson. Even problem solving becomes easier as you develop the ability to see problems from different angles. So reading is to the mind what gym is to the body, only without the sweaty gym clothes and tennis shoes. So ultimately, reading challenges your brain more than watching TV or playing video games. That's because reading connects part of the brain that have evolved for other functions, such as your vision, language, and associative learning. Ken Pugh, who is a PhD, president and director of research of Yale's Haskins Laboratory, said in an interview with Oprah Magazine. Okay, number two, and let's talk about this one. It might keep your brain young. So digging into a good book can literally take years off of your mind. According to a 2013 study published by Neurology, researchers found that regular cognitive activity, such as reading, can help slow mental decline associated with aging. I should live to be 1,000 years old. A 2018 study also found a clear relationship between reading books and mental prowess in adulthood. And this is published in Frontiers in Psychology. The 15-year study suggested that reading books, not just magazines, improved memory and verbal fluency regardless of age. So if you're worried about your ability to remember things, this is your clue to sign up for a library card and use it. It's one of the reading benefits you don't want to miss out on. Let's talk about number three. It melts away stress. Who couldn't use just a little less stress in their life? I think we can all use a lot less stress in our lives. So if you've ever been swept away in a story, you're probably aware of the stress-reducing effect, one of the most immediate benefits of reading books. Reading is like escaping to a calmer dimension without leaving your couch, says Anson. It can reduce stress and give you the same health benefits as deep relaxation and meditation. She points to a 2009 study at the University of Sussex that found even 6 minutes of daily reading can reduce stress levels by 68%. Other studies have shown that regular readers report better sleep, less stress, higher self-esteem, and lower rates of depression than non-readers. She adds that. She also says, number four, it boosts your vocabulary. Even if it's been decades since you've had to worry about the SATs, or you can still use both novels and nonfiction books to expand your mental dictionary. Case in point. A study published in the Journal of Speech, Language, and Hearing Research found that students with above average reading levels also had above average vocabulary knowledge. In fact, researchers estimate that we learn 5 to 15% of all the words we know through reading, and this is according to the Scholastic report. Continuously learning new words is a great skill for game shows and trivia competitions, but it's also a surefire way to improve your communication skills and boost your reading speed. Number five, it boosts mental wellness. Reading supports mental wellness, says Newman, and it's not hard to understand why. Who hasn't finished a feel-good book and, well, felt better? So, create great stories can transport us to a happier place on tough days. Just like I said when I was a kid, Pippi Longstockings was my rescue. But even less rosy tales have a place. So well-rounded characters with relatable struggles help us feel less alone. Now, teens who report reading often also report have better mental health, according to the Scholastic's Kids and Family Reading Report. Other results that show the benefits of reading: 30% of infrequent readers reported feeling lonely compared to just 19% of frequent readers. A love of reading can be a powerful tool in supporting mental health, according to boosting self-esteem, increasing empathy, and mitigating anxiety and depression, says Newman. Number 6, it develops empathy. Numerous studies have shown that readers of fiction books tend to empathize better with others, says Anson. Reading about an experience allows a person to feel the same feelings as someone actually going through that experience. Stepping into someone else's perspective can be life-changing. The Bible says that. Sit where the other person is set so you can understand better. That correlates with this. Okay, so guessing with accuracy what other humans might be thinking or feeling is kind of like a secret superpower, says Anson. It can certainly help you become a better friend and leader. I know when I started my business, I was all about reading books and biographies, not autobiographies, of successful people. And it really takes away some of your hard work, on getting to the top. If you'll follow someone and read about their story and how they made it in life, it can save you a lot of time because they've already done it and they've already been there. So if you want to be, say, a dog manicurist, you're going to do that. Read histories and stories of people who have done that before and what made them a success, what made them a failure, and then what made them a success again. It's going to make a success out of you. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. I think it's time for me to go into a commercial break. I'll be right back in just a few minutes. Hang in there with me, okay?
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonesmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Okay, let's get right back in. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always such a fun ride. I appreciate you being with me, absolutely. You know, you can send an email anytime you want to. I love it. You make my day when you do that. Send an email to Donna at donnasedge.com. I try to read every one of them. Sometimes I go in the spam folder, so you have to kind of bear with me sometimes, and I promise I do get with it. So thank you, Ellen, for sending the email on how to get people motivated, to read books, and it is really important that we do that. Number 7, it is a great motivator. Okay, so here we go. Have you ever finished a great book and just felt inspired by what you read? Maybe it's a YA book that follows a main character's growth from a shy wallflower, that's me, into a confident heroine. I am not that yet, but anyway, I'm working towards that goal. But it could be that maybe it's a protagonist romantic mishap shine on light on fixes for your own relationship miscommunications, or that a self-help book, I love those, the story of a brave request for a promotion motivates you to schedule a meeting with your boss. Compelling books may motivate readers of all ages, but Newman says there's proof that reading actually leads to higher achievement at school. According to the Scholastic Holmes Library white paper, just 21 minutes a day of reading outside the school results in higher scores on reading achievement tests. She reports that. I think it's awesome news. Number 8, helps you to sleep better. Yeah, read a book before you go to bed instead of watching a movie. Just try it for a week and see what happens. You'll be amazed at what happens. You're going to get a much restful sleep. Even if you read a murder mystery, you can tell a difference. There's just something about reading. Okay, now sure, sometimes nail-biting true crime stories keep you up at night, and many a book lover has fallen to the allure of just one more chapter, that's me, only to continue straight through the end. But one of the surprising benefits of reading is that books can help you sleep better. Turning off electronic screens and settling into a book before bedtime can improve sleep quality, says Anson. The soft glow of the bedside lamp replaces the harsh blue light of devices, signaling your brain that it's time to wind down. Okay, that just gets into our ancestors and how they would. This is all made into our DNA. It's just a much more natural way to wind down. Of course, the benefit applies only to physical books. Research published in the journal Sleep Medicine shows that the light from the e-readers and tablets can cut your hours of quality. It can cut into the hours of quality shut-eye. I get that. Absolutely. Number 9, it can give your workout more staying power. How is that? So let's dig. Okay, like the latest single from Taylor Swift or a binge-worthy Netflix show, books make great company during a workout. But have you ever considered that one of the benefits of reading a page turner is that it keeps your mind occupied for longer while your body sweats it out? True. Next time you hit the treadmill, take a greater thriller of mystery with you. Fast-paced fiction can occupy your mind and drive you to finish just another chapter before ending your workout for the day. Let's talk about number 10. It builds community. Absolutely it does. So reading is a solitary act that can build community, says Anson. Think about it. Even if you read a book alone, you can share that experience and your opinions of the story with anyone else who has read the same book. And sometimes you'll find that you get a different insight than someone else does. And sometimes you might like that other person's insight about the book. So reading leads to book clubs and bedtime stories, fan fiction, and forums. Join a group, say like the Reader's Digest Book Club. And you don't have to just get book chats and recommendations, but you get a community of like-minded individuals. Plus, reading can be it's a great way to bond with the little ones in your life. Who doesn't want to read a bedtime story to the little ones? Newman says Scholastic's research found that 92% of parents and their children think reading aloud is a special way to spend time together. And it most certainly is. And I wanted to mention this. I remember when I was pregnant. And my grandmother, now this is back in 1979, okay, when my son was born. And so my grandmother said, you need to be reading to the baby. Now, back then, you didn't even know if it was going to be a girl or a boy. And so she said, you just need to read to the baby. And I said, but it can't hear me. And she said, I think it can. And she brought up the verse in the Bible where Mary and Martha were talking, and they were talking about baby Jesus being born. And remember, Martha was pregnant. John the Baptist was in her womb, and John the Baptist leaped in the womb. They can hear, absolutely. So I started doing that. I started reading and to Brad before he was even born. And I'm going to tell you what, he has his own library. He cannot go through life without reading something. I mean, you always see it. As a matter of fact, when I say, what do you want for your birthday? Or what would you like for Christmas? He always thinks about a book he would like to have as commentary. That's always his choice, always a book. So do that. Read to your babies before they're even born and see what happens. They'll be smarter kids too. And they'll be the types who want to retain knowledge, and that's good. That's a good thing. Number 11 helps you learn new things. It most certainly has me. I mean, we're born into the world not knowing a thing, right? You can pick up a lot through reading. So if you want to learn something new every day, open up a book, any book. Reading helps kids understand the world around them, says Newman. The majority of parents believe reading fiction and nonfiction is important for their child. And it's true. Almost any book can teach you new things. Great travel books can teach you about new languages and cultures. Even beach reads can teach you a thing or two about communication and responsibilities and relationships. Anson calls how-to books the original Google and says reading nonfiction is like having a conversation with the world's experts without them interrupting you to check their phones. Oh, isn't that something? You don't have to wait on commercials either. How often do you have to read the benefits? There's no magic answer, unfortunately. So there's no magic answer to exactly how often you need to pick a book to experience the benefits of reading. It's more about reading on a regular basis then clocking a certain number of minutes per day. So try to plan 3 to 4 times a week when you can read with minimal disruptions. That's another thing. Okay, I know folks who write books who tell me this same thing all the time. They're always saying, well, Donna, the only way I can get a good, because there's always the first question in an interview is, how do you find the time? I mean, how do you read? How do you write without distractions? And they always say, well, here's what I do. The family knows when they see that door shut, do not interrupt me. And that's true. So, as a matter of fact, I'm writing a couple of books myself. I've been writing them for a long time. One of these days I'll be finished with them. But it is hard to write if there are distractions. Absolutely it is. Okay, now, how often do you have to read the benefits? There's no really true time. Okay, so what you want to do is more about reading on a regular basis than clocking a certain number of minutes per day, as I just said. So try to plan 3 to 4 times a week when you can read with a minimal disruption, suggests Anson. It sounds obvious, but Newman suggests that one of the keys to reading more often is enjoying the activity. So if you're struggling to find the time to read 3 or 4 times a week, try getting pickier about your reading material. Is it the biography on your newsstand that's boring you? It may not be a matter of learning how to focus properly. Just try a different book, maybe historical fiction or an easy breezy rom-com. Each reading moment, when it creates a sense of book joy, leads to the next, and together they build a frequent reader. And that's why it is extremely important that you do that. I have a lot of authors I like. I'll have to tell you an author who is local to Alabama, who lives in Alabama. His name is Alan Mendenhall. And so Alan's a good friend of mine. He's on the show quite a bit. And he has written several books. Dr. Attorney Bob French is a theological student, we'll just say. He's 90 years old, still studying. And this is what he says. I said, you know what, Bob, your memory is better than most people who are 20 years old. And he said, well, I don't know why it would be. And I said, well, I think I do. I said, because you're still a student. And he said, you're right. I'm a student. I'll be a student the rest of my life. But I think he does a lot of research when he is writing his books. And that keeps Bob young. So Bob's going to be on the show again in just a few more weeks, and we're going to pick him just a little bit to see what makes him tick and why he is such a student and why he likes to learn. Then I have my Aunt Elizabeth, who will be 102 years old on her birthday this year, and lives by herself still, and does most everything by herself. And so I asked her when she turned 100 years old. I had her on the show one day, and I said, so why is your mind so sharp? Well, she doesn't think it's as sharp as it used to be. And I said, Aunt Elizabeth, your mind is sharper than most 20-year-olds. And she said, well, I like to read, number one. And I knew she was going to mention read in there sometime, but she likes to read. She doesn't like to read everything. She said, I like to read the Bible, and she likes romance novels. That one shocked me. And then she said, and I like to read about successful people and how they made it. She likes to do crossword puzzles. She likes to do something where her mind is just always exercised. And that's what she calls it. She said, I guess I'm exercising my mind, huh? And I said, yeah, and it's working. My name is Donna. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge Talk Show. It's a pleasure to be with you every single day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as you and I get to ride home with each other in the afternoon. Thank you again so much for watching. Send emails. I love them. I'm going to tell you, it just makes my day every time I get an email from you. Bear with me a little bit because I do get a lot of them. Something could go into spam, and when I go into the spam folder, I have to kind of fish through to find it. But I do appreciate your sending them. Thank you again so much for watching.